Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. Let's examine the contents of this Warhammer UltraMarine Reiver. So we have the figure, we have the carbine, we have a jetpack, and on the back of the figure, we have a figure stand. Okay, so I've been playing with this figure for 45 minutes now, and I really have to tell myself to stop playing and start recording. But before recording, I went online and purchased another one. So this figure I got at Amazon, so for $19, shipping included. It arrived yesterday, something around at $21-ish. So let's get on the review, and let me tell you why I got two of these action figures. Just a little bit of the detail before we really discuss the detail section. As you would wonder how tall this figure is, it stands at around 7.5 inches. So as for articulation, this is where this figure would really shine. So the head, I was really scared that this head would really have limited articulation, but I was surprised that this head would be on a plate. So this is the plate that I was mentioning. So unlike any traditional action figures wherein the head would articulate on a ball, this would articulate on a plate. So we don't have much of the head tilts looking down, but you could just push this head a little bit backwards, that is on a ball, and try to push that head down for tilt motion. But you see, there is not so much head tilt motion. But with this, that is what we are looking for, the looking up motion. As for sideways movement, that is nice and smooth. And for the torso area, we have a ball over here and also a ball over there. So really nice and fluid out of the box. So that is how I got my copy. So this copy, specifically this copy out of the box, it came to me ready for play and display purpose. And as for the arms, I was really scared that these shoulder pauldrons or protectors would really hinder articulation, but they are on a ball joint. So I hope that the camera catches that, but there is a ball joint over here where my suture scissors are pointing. So this would articulate nicely, allowing you for fluid motion. But of course, if you're going to really stress that joint, it's going to pop. So, but it's easy to pop back in. So with regards to the legs, before I move to the leg area, unlike your DC multiverse action figures done by Mcfarlane, mostly the figures would have a really soft crotch or brief area, but this is nice and stiff. It's made out of hard plastic. So with regards to articulation of the leg could kick that high and even articulate that much, because as you could see, the design of the waist area, especially on the pelvic area, it is really nice and open. We don't have much accessories to hinder articulation. So even if we have these pouches, it would really not hinder articulation on the figure. So for back kicks, that is possible. For forward lunges, that is possible. We have ample articulation point to rotate the entire leg. still Mcfarlane style thigh articulation. We have 2 points of articulation for the knee. I thought this was only a single bend on the knee, but those are two articulated points. So even on the shin area, we have a little bit of articulation point, and this foot is on your standard Mcfarlane type ball joint, but they made a really nice effort as to cover that ball joint up. So really nice touch. And this comes with a display stand, but as you could see on its own, it is nice and stable. It would really hold its pose. Okay, as for the last point of articulation that I would mention right now would be on the shoulders once again, because I really segregated that portion because you have the carbine, and I was really also scared that this figure won't be able to hold this weapon properly because of course the design. I was really scared about that, but as you could see, we have ample articulation still. So we have bicep swivel, and I was really surprised that that's 2 points of articulation for the elbow, and the elbow has this covering, so we won't be really dissatisfied when we try to bend that and we have an ugly bend on the elbow. So we have that elbow guard to really give us that nice touch of elbow bend without really destroying the design or the aesthetic of the figure. So as for the hand area, it's easy, nice and soft. Actually, it's not way too hard to put this carbine on the hands of the figure, and this hand area rotates easy. But as for the swivel that is associated with it, this is something that you have to really point your blow dryer at to soften that up, so which I already did. That's why I could articulate this point. So that is the only point of articulation that I subjected to hair dryer time. It's going to be on the hands area. But as for the rest of the figure, it is just a-okay. Let's take a look at the accessories that comes with this figure. So this figure has a flight pack of some sort. We have articulation on these side flaps over here. I was expecting some point of articulation here on the thrusters, that you could possibly move that sideways, but that is fixed. So I even tried subjecting this to blow dryer, thinking that it was just stiff, but no, they are really glued in place just like that. So the only point of articulation would be this type. So you could pull it up, put it down. And as for the pegging system, really nice touch Mcfarlane toys, because we have this kind of pegging system instead of a round peg, because this is also quite a weighty piece. And as to connection point on the back, when you slap it in there, if that was a round peg on a round hole, this thing is going to move around, and that is quite annoying. But with this, it is just nice and secure, so when you slap it on the figure's back, it won't move around and it really stays in place. So nice and secure. And even with this backpack on, you won't need the stand, because actually the figure stands on its own to fit well. So there you go, with the backpack applied on the figure. Sometimes this is some figures would really topple down, but this figure holds its stand. So let's take a look at the only weapon that this figure would have. So it's going to be, when I research online, it's a carbine of some sort, but to me it looks like a pistol. So a shortened up pistol, but not a carbine. But for overall, if it pairs nicely with the Marine, yes, it does. So before we apply this to the action figure, as you could see, just by putting it to the side, that way you know that it really fits the figure. But if you also have some oversized weapons on your accessories bin, this is where those oversized weapons could match this Ultramarine figure. So especially oversized swords, oversized miniguns or Gatling guns, take them out and slap it on this figure, because it's going to look really, really good, which I'm going to show in the photos and the video shots later. The last thing that I really like about this action figure, I also saw other Ultramarines at my local Target, but I did not purchase any of them because they would have huge rifles with single magazines, and they would have no pouches on the side for ammunition reserve. Some figures would have just this little pouch on the back, but if you're going to go for an extended period of time fighting off a horde, a single small mag is not enough. But this Ultramarine comes with several pouches on the thigh of the figure, so you know that that's going to be an ammunition pouch for the carbine. So we have two over here, and we still have one over there, and possibly stripper clips for the carbine to reload those empty magazines later. We also have two grenades. These ones are painted silver, and we also have a single grenade on the back, and possibly that's going to be either a medical pouch or an MRE pouch of some sort. We also have some small pockets over here for multi-purpose possibly equipment. And as for the details, the paint, this figure really has a nice hint of blue and white, and I really love that skull symbol on the center of the chest with two knives crisscrossed. So as for the details, this is a really nicely detailed figure. So for a heavily armored infantryman, this is what you want to have. So this is the reason why I ordered another Ultramarine, is because to pair it with my Cobra Commander. So instead of having Ali Vipers or BATs, why not just 2 or 3 of these guys? So it would just need possibly a Cobra faction symbol that we could slap on the armor of this guy, because, well, that is actually my intended purpose, because I don't play Warhammer anyway. I was just attracted to how beautiful this figure is, and right now that I have this figure on board, I could really tell you guys that it is a really nice looking action figure. Nice combination of colors, highly articulated, and it's not just beautiful on your shelf because of how you combine them with your other action figures, but it is really highly playable, unlike some of your DC Multiverse action figures, which they look good in box, and you take them out, it quite looks bad of some sort, and when you play with them, that's when you really sometimes have that thinking that you would always have that thinking that I shouldn't have purchased that action figure. But anyway, with this action figure, it is really a must-have. I highly recommend this if you want a guard of some sort to pair with your G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Commander. So just 2 or 3 of these guys, I guess no Joe would be able to compete with Cobra Command. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And see you on the next review.